Thank you, Peter, and pleasure to be here. And Gloria, again, thank you for last night's event and for this great introduction today. I have two lives, as you heard. One was Undersecretary of the Navy, so that's someone this morning said warfare. And I was president of Polytechnic University, part of NYU, and that might be called welfare. So I live in both worlds. I think they're related. Sometimes they come in conflict. So you've heard today, and I won't repeat it, that AI clearly has, artificial intelligence has a lot to do with where the world's headed and probably brings some, I think, really strong opportunities for what someone from the United States might call the rest of the world. It's going to be good for the United States. It's going to be an issue of how we handle it. But let's talk about the rest of the world. The AI will offer access to education, which I think is one of the fundamental things. You've heard it here today already. If we don't educate more of the world and how to live in this complex world, we have a problem. I like to say when I was president of the university, my goal was to make my students either smarter than a robot or at least learn how to work with a robot. Otherwise, you're going to be working for a robot. And that's not necessarily a great life. But educating people to be smarter than robots with artificial intelligence going where it's going is a task. It's not the case of I need to know math and my multiplication tables, I know how to be an engineer. It means artificial intelligence will take care of all of that. The question is, what do you add to the equation, and how do we educate people to do that? You'll hear a little more from Esther when she talks about peer-to-peer learning. Peer-to-peer learning is, by the data, the best way for kids to learn. It's interesting. We think we're teachers, we need to teach you everything. In fact, kids teaching each other, far more effective. Now you say, well, where's AI fit into this? Well, look what, Khan's Academy, right? Been around about 10 years helping kids learn math. Now there's Khan Amigo. Khan Amigo is an AI-assisted tutorial system for teachers, parents, and students, each at their own level, to learn from. And this is a very interactive learning system that is equal to peer-to-peer learning. In this case, your peer is artificial intelligence. It's not another student. But there's these systems at Khan's Academy, $4 a month to subscribe to it. This is not out of the question for a lot of people, and certainly at volume, the price may come down. So there's things happening in the world using AI already to allow lots and lots of students to learn. And if you think about the rest of the world, where we have enormous volumes of learners, India, 1.4 billion people with nearly 30% being young people, Africa, enormous number of young people. We'll never solve the education issues in those two continents unless we use technology like AI, which is getting quite sophisticated. So that's one. Two, I chair the New York Academy of Sciences. We have a very interesting program called Junior Academy, and we create teams around the world, and we use a certain amount of AI to do this. High school students team up to solve a problem. How to make an airplane fly faster, how to make water cleaner, whatever it is. These teams are united by computers. They never meet each other, and yet they solve problems. Then maybe the top 25 get flown to the U.S. for a final award ceremony. But there's thousands of these teams. Again, a way to learn that hadn't existed before that I think helps get people through where we're faced. Now, we know there's broadband problems that's been discussed today. You got to be able to get electricity to run a computer, all of that got to be solved. But most of all, I believe the future is educate young people in order to live and work well with artificial intelligence. The last thing I say is we focus a lot on artificial intelligence, but I think there's really a bit more complex system. Sensors, satellites in the sky, sensors, you heard about the sensor that was detecting water in the eye. Sensors are a part of this equation. It's not just smart AI. It's the sensors can detect things and help build the database Second, robots are getting pretty smart, but I want to point out, as a friend that heads AI for Facebook said, there's no artificial intelligence robot today, who can clear the dining room table after dinner. But every 10-year-old, if you tell them to clear the dining room table, knows how to do it. 4-year-olds, by the time they're 4, have had 20,000 hours, 16,000 hours of video input. No AI system has that much video input. AI robot, for instance, does not know the difference between pushing this bottle at the top, it'll tip over, or this bottle at the bottom, it'll slide across the table. 4 or 5-year-old knows that difference. They also know that if I push the desk doesn't move at all. Robot doesn't know that. So don't overestimate what AI knows. It can't remember. It can't plan. It does not have the ability to anticipate. These are human skills that we still have the edge. So we need to figure out how to use that edge to stay in front of artificial intelligence. It can be done. So with that, I think there's a great amount of opportunity. Education's key. There's other things key. They've been talked about today, but education is the key to have young people know how to live in this world.
Thank you very much.